Interesting you mentioned the PTSD. Do you want to share initial impressions, initial meetings of James Haskell?
Yeah, it was
your first few days on Planet Hask.
It pretty much was. Yeah, I think I'd been to Australia and come back like midway through pre-season when you first joined.
Yeah,
we had a delightful trip to Swansea. We hadn't been away for a while in pre-season. It was like, where do we go? Swansea. Stay in some uni halls, which was class, wasn't it? Anyway, we're split up into these mini teams at Saints, and I was in Hask mini team, and I think it was my 4th year academy. I was like, this is like the Negatrons. Yeah, I think you came up with that, didn't you?
I did. Yeah,
you came up with the design.
We had jackets, we had merch. We had, honestly, I promise you, it was one of those things. Everyone, but we basically came up with the Negatrons were like negativity, but through negativity we're positive, and we had like it was Courtney, you, me,
Franksy epitomised.
Ben Frank's the most negative man. Oh, okay, well, it was like I had to talk to George via Ben because he couldn't dare talk to academy player because I had to academy players are fucking soft. You're like fucking Franksy, calm down. He was great. But I then got my mum, old dear, to did all merch. We had like jackets, everything else. So put them in the change room. Everyone drew penises on them. Jealousy, professional jealousy, wasn't it? Ruined.
We like Arsene Grease, didn't we?
We did. Yeah, we're like sharks and the
Jets and the sharks.
Jets and sharks. We
That's
did.
West Side Story.
I think I've still got the. I think I've still got my Negatron jacket. I think.
Yeah,
amazing.
I think I'm single. I'm in the bin with a dick on it. Yeah.
Anyway, so you were in the Negatrons.
Well, I was in the Negatrons, and someone had to do a presentation from the Negatrons to introduce the members of their team, and Hask just decided to volunteer for some reason to do that, not knowing many people. Anyway, I was in my 4th year academy. I was like, this is going to be my year. Like, I need to start pushing on here. Anyway, Hask he's gone through the presentation. I think he's introduced like Franksy and said a few funny things about a few of the senior lads. And then I was the first academy lad that he's got, and on the screen it just says Academy Player 1. And he was like, I don't know who this lad is. I don't know anything about him, so we'll call him Academy Player 1. I was like, it's so rough.
Gary Furbank.
Self-esteem.
Gary Furbank was a key man in the team.
Self-esteem went out the window then. Yeah.
Look at you now.
Well,
but that's what I mean. It's actually my
still doesn't know who I am.
Yeah, I do, Jeff. But but it's amazing to watch. Because when we came in, we talked about it off air. Like George was young, academy player. Lewis Ludlam had been told at the time this was make or break. He wasn't going to get involved. George was just on the periphery. Alex Mitchell, if you'd asked him, was he going to play for England and play as well as he did, would you say George was going to captain it? No, because it's in a different dynamic, different time. You're still finding your feet, but each one of them's gone on to just have an amazing career and thoroughly deserved as well. And I think it's interesting. It just goes to show you never really, people who make these decisions on people's careers early and go, earmark them, they're going to make it, they're not going to make it. It just shows out how sort of wrong you can be in terms of how much talent there is, how much ability there is. What leadership.
You're admitting you were wrong.
I never earmarked.
This is a moment in time, ladies and gents. This is absolutely.
I'm always I'm very happy to put my hands up and say I'm wrong, but I didn't ever sort of cast aspersions on what they were going to make, what they were going to do. The guys were young players. You can't call it at that stage, but it's very interesting to watch each one of them go on and absolutely carve up. Really,
how does the trauma that you had to go through under James Haskell in the early days of your career, now that you're club captain, am I right? So you've got the youngest squad in the Prem this time around Northampton. Well, certainly one of, isn't it? I think it's something. And you've lost a huge amount of experience with Courtney and Lewis, as you mentioned, who've moved on. What sort of a skipper? How did the captaincy come about for you? First of all, did you slide your business card under Dowse's door and say I'm quite keen, or did he just sort of take to one side and say if you fancy it?
Yeah, he just brought me into his office and was basically like, me and Vesty have had a chat and we think you'd be good for the role. Would you like to do it?
Right.
And at that point, there's no saying
why?
no, really.
Why do you think?
I guess there was probably a few lads who sort of stepped up into senior roles and leadership roles the year before, and so it could have been one of a few of us. I don't know why in particular. Yeah, he's chosen me, but I was like, it's pretty surreal, to be honest, because the Saints were a childhood club for me. So yeah, now being able to captain it is pretty crazy. But like, I guess you could say there's probably a couple of captains in our team now with the likes of Dingers, Finn, Colsey.
Yeah.
So there's a real good leadership group around us who all learn from the likes of Luds, Courts, Alex Waller, those sort of boys. So I think definitely having those lads and learning from those lads and sort of not trying to fill their shoes, but sort of stepping into that role even more has been incredibly helpful.
What sort of a captain are you?
I'm not one for like big motivational speeches.
You don't plan Churchillian sort of.
No, I think that probably sound wrong coming out of my mouth. To be honest,
right, chaps. Let's have a bloody good day. Let's play really hard.
That's what Coles's like apparently when he's captain. But no, I'm not a massive speaker. I feel like I speak when I need to speak. But like I said, I got boys who deliver some good messages. Kurt Langdon's probably the one who's like his bottom lip starts going, mate.
Really?
When he's delivering speeches, yeah. So he gets the boys revved up probably in that kind of way. But a lot of my messaging is probably more like technical and that side of things rather than emotional side.
Did you walk into that room a person and come out a different person once you've been announced captain in terms of responsibilities? Because I always found, from a personal perspective, that actually bizarrely given responsibility suited me better, but nobody ever wanted to give it because they were like, this can't give us a loose cannon it. But I actually thrived under it. I wondered, you kind of, because when you're a player you're kind of quite selfish, but suddenly when you become a captain you've got to think much more about the emotional mood of the team, where you're going, delivering messages. Did you find it changed a bit, or have you grown a bit more into it?
It's probably something I had to think about a little bit more. So I will think before a game or before meetings what I want to speak about, what the main messages that I want to bring out of this and get out of these sessions or matches, for example. So that side of things, I wouldn't say it's changed like my personality at all, really. Like I said, I'm not one for massive speech, and I've stuck that way. I think it's actually last season, definitely, when I think I was captain for 12 or 13 games, and to have that, it made me realise like I need to step up my game. I think people look to leaders when they're playing well as well. Like your leaders need to be playing well and set examples on the field rather than just with words. So I think that definitely helped me up my game there, and gave me a bit more responsibility to do that. So that definitely helped that side of things.
When you walk around Northampton, do people go, here we are, dear, a couple of extra sausages for you, and all that kind of, have a pair of shoes or whatever it is,
a pair of boots?
You know what I mean? Like, just
it tends to be Morrison's or something like that. when you just shopping, yeah. I'm not quite Waitrose yet, mate.
Oh, sorry, darling. That's all right.
Yeah, in Morrison's.
Well, they give you a little bonus,
not a little bonus, but
here, have a little Jammy Dodgers. Good luck the weekend.
Just slip it in your basket.
Yes, I mean,
really.
I love that. Like when you go and order a flat white, that's on me, love.
Yeah, it's not quite, unfortunately.
Really?
Yes.
You need to sort that out.
Yeah,
you think of a small town.
Won the Prem last year, do you know what I mean?
That's what I mean, yeah.